Welcome back to another episode of Before We Forget the Podcast where I'm Duran.
And I'm Mike.
And Mike, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What's next for Young Thug? Recently, Young Thug was just released from prison finally after his long case. And let me tell you, that case was just crazy, man. There was a lot of stuff going on. And let's just call Woody the GOAT right now because I feel like my man never said nothing, but he said something.
He said a whole lot.
A whole lot of nothing and a whole lot of something. And everybody just need to apologize to Gunna because my man Young Thug asked, can he still be in contact with Gunna and perform and do music with him?
I'm still questioning that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, maybe, but you never know. Because why would he ask for that if it was something that was detrimental to his case where somebody didn't get along with you, but you're going to ask to perform with them? And then Young Thug's father did say it's all love. So your dad ain't gonna say that if you got ops. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. It's true.
But
so here's the thing. I just think the stipulations on this release are crazy.
Nah, they wild. But
when we talk about the system and how they pretty much set people up for failure.
100%.
Like we've seen a lot of cases where people are on probation for damn near their whole life. Meek Mill. Like that man was on probation forever until he went back in this last stint. So like to say they're gonna put Thug on probation for 15 years?
15 years with no mistakes, no violations, no nothing. And
that
then
man gonna be in his 50s.
That's just one stipulation because my man can't go to a certain part of Atlanta.
Yep.
And he can travel and perform and do music, but he can't talk about anything that he talked about before. So all his music has to be positive, all good stuff. And he has to do performances. I think, what is it? 3 performances in a year?
4 performances.
4 performances that gotta speak against gang violence and against anything that's negative. He has to do it. That's a lot.
You sent me the list here earlier, so
I did.
He can't go into Metro Atlanta.
That's crazy.
He has to do 4 presentations or concerts speaking against gang violence.
Right.
He can only travel for work and make music.
Right.
There's no contact with gang members or any of his co-defendants, except for his brother and Gunna.
Oh, and he can't do the YSL members, which is his whole label.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I'm like, okay. And then he cannot promote gangs in any way. Does that mean he can't claim YSL anymore? Since they
technically no, he can't do that because they were saying that YSL is a gang or a mob. So with that being said, how do you collaborate or talk to your artists? How do you do that?
Right.
Like, how do you figure that out? Basically, he just got to turn over a whole new leaf. He got to become a whole new person.
So he can only collaborate with Drake going forward.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And even still, like, you can't say nothing about drinking. You can't say nothing about smoking. You can't say nothing about popping no pills. All that's over and done with.
Yeah. I mean, his music's going to change, which, I mean, he's in his 30s. Like, he need to change it up in some aspect anyway. But it's not going to be what everybody expect from him.
Nah, it's either that or he going to have to lean real hard into the business side of, rapping. So now he can just go start a business.
Or do what Gunna did. Come back and make music for your white audience. Gunna left after the case. If Gunna came back and majority of his artists now or his people who follow him are his Caucasian crowd.
Hey, it is what it is, but nonetheless, he still can't talk about the same stuff that previous Young Thug could talk about. One, is that going to change how many fans of Young Thugs that we have?
No.
Or you think that people are going to still be diehards? Because 15 years is a long time to wait on somebody to change their discography.
I think he'll find a way around it. But also, I feel like, at least with the black community, they going to support him even more because he actually lived what he talked about, right? He went through 3 years in jail. He never snitched. He never told on nobody. He did exactly what he said he does in his lyrics, and now he's back. It's kind of like with Bobby Shmurda. Like
Bobby came back.
He came back weird.
He came back really weird, but that's another podcast. But he definitely been on. He not on Earth no more. He went wherever he threw his hat in the video. That's where he went.
Hey, but he did his time and he held it down.
He
and
did.
I think a lot of people respected Bobby for that.
They did.
The same thing with Young Thug.
But one thing I know that artists do, or the music industry does, is whenever somebody does get incarcerated and they come home, artists do come visit them personally. They give them cash, they give them jewelry, and it's not. It's like a welcome home gift, but it's not. It's kind of like you still somebody of importance, because going to jail is going to jail. It don't matter if you're famous or you poor. It's still something that could affect you. And at the end of the day, we're just civilians, so we don't get to go home or have personal contact with these people and see the real effects of them being in jail. We just assume, oh, he got money, his stay was like a cushion stay, he was cool, he had food or whatever. But things might have been hard. His family might not have been messing with him like that, because at this point we don't see them either. I could say I support you all day, but really I don't even go to the jail and answer your phone calls.
Right. I will say this though. At one point, when people were criticizing Gunna, he said, "I'm the only one in YSL making money right now." And
he right though,
and he was right. He was paying legal. Like that's a lot of legal fees.
He dropped like what 2-3 albums. He dropped the one with the skull on his head.
I think only 2.
And then he had the one with the blue and white rag on his face, called One of One. And I forget what the other one was, but it had If You Mean on there, and that song got real good. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to either one of them.
I didn't either. But, I mean, he do got some songs when I was like, man, what's the big fuss? That it was like 2 or 3 of them. I do got them on my playlist, I ain't gonna lie. But I can't keep listening to it. But it's not about him right now. It's about Young Thug. So, I just think that, you know, he did have some hard stipulations to go by. I don't even know if I could be on probation for a year, because I feel like I would just mess up accidentally. Like, you ain't even got the intention of messing up, and you just look up that, oh snap, I can't be here, and somebody see you, and that's a wrap.
Like, he can't go to no award shows, like BET, none of that. Because if anybody shows up who is anywhat gang, if YG show up,
that's a dub.
If Chris Brown show up,
it's over.
He can't do music with Chris Brown.
Man, Chris Breezy, like, dang,
can't do music with Lil Wayne. That probably wasn't gonna happen anyway. But.
Right, but it's just saying, like, a lot of the people that do music now is all
technically he can still do music with Lil Baby
though. Yeah,
because Lil Baby ain't gang related.
Nah, he not. You know, some people just be doing it for the culture, throwing them fingers, and yeah. But I just think this is going to be something that seriously impacts him, where he has to change. And I agree with you. He will find a way around it. I feel like he a pretty smart dude. He'll find a way around it. But like I said, they hang people up on the smallest things. Like, I know earlier I was talking to you and I was telling you about BG and how they was about to put him back in jail. Yeah. I don't know if he got out of it or if they went back to court over it, but BG had did an album with Gucci Mane, and Gucci Mane's a convicted felon. And so they caught him up on that. Like, first of all, you traveled to go do this, and we told you not to travel. And then you was in contact with a convicted felon. I guess it's part of his probation not to be around convicted felons. Mm-hmm. I think he got a lengthy time too. I think it's like 10 years probation, which is crazy, because, like, how do you expect? So he can't drink, he can't smoke, he can't do nothing. Not that you need to do those things, but it's just saying the people he's going to be around, and if he attends parties, he can't be around that scene. And that's what happens at parties.
Yeah.
So how do you
can't live that lifestyle, right?
Like, you can't do anything. Like, even if you was at home, you probably constantly getting drug tested. You being monitored. Your phone calls being monitored. They looking at where you going, where the plane took you to, and any mistake you can. What if you get a layover and you go somewhere you ain't supposed to be?
Here's what kills me is a lot of times they'll pull them in and then add time on.
Yeah, like, what are we accomplishing
like, if
here?
You do have a drink, they're gonna be like, oh, we could send you back to jail, or we could give you another try, or we're just gonna add on some more time since you failed this.
Which is crazy.
But I mean, at this point, when we talk about Young Thug, he's gonna be on probation well into his 50s.
Oh, absolutely.
But it is better than being in jail well into his 50s.
It is. And he got a lot of kids, so it ain't like he ain't got nothing to do with his time. No, he for real, dude. I think he got over 10 of them joints.
Him and Future.
Right. They trying to repopulate the world.
Populating Atlanta.
But like that's even crazier because him and Future is real tight. So he can't even do music with Future because Future claim he's associated though.
But associated and being in a gang are different.
It is, but if you was a court of law, how do you prove that somebody is or isn't? So at some point,
so as much as I dislike Future's music, and I mean, I would say I dislike Future himself. Like it's just what it is. I've never heard him say like he's in a gang. Like he's never said he's Blood or Crip or like anything like that. So I think Future, they might be able to be like, what gang is he a part of?
I mean, he says that, but he also says he's part of the mob too. So the mob is technically a gang.
Everybody say that, but the mob is a.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you see the flaw though? Because you can't really validate who is and who isn't in the gang. And if we're performers, that might be part of my performance is to say I'm this or I'm that. But really, I don't do that. But can you take it by face or can you prove it? Because at that point, then you basically getting cases started for all the people that you being around based off a guess.
I think Future's the easiest one because he's always alone.
He is. But
he not. Right. Like he got his people, bodyguards and all of that. But you don't ever see him like surrounded by gang members or out like throwing up gang signs or none of that. So I think it'd be hard for them to truly prove that he's a gang member when there's other people like I say, like YB or like rest in peace Nipsey Hussle, who specifically said they were Bloods or they were Crips or they were this, that you can take that word for it because in multiple songs they say it.
This is true. And a lot of times we overlook that. But I just think that it's cool he out, but it's plot holes. An easy plot holes for you to fall into. If
I was him, I'd stick to features on pop songs.
At this point, I would just
Havana,
ain't no way. I record music from my house. I wouldn't even really go nowhere. Like I said, I'll probably start changing things around, using the rapper money to invest probably into the community.
See, but the hard part is for most artists, the money doesn't come from making the songs, it comes from touring.
It does. But also the thing about him is that he got his own label too.
Yeah,
so
but he can't perform none of his songs.
No, I know that.
In the past.
But he can get residuals though.
He can, but I'm saying like if he toured, you'd want to hear some past Young Thug songs.
Right.
He can't perform them.
He can't, but we just gonna have to take that new Young Thug music and this is gonna be exclusive. And then, like I said, that's why you go into the business.
To start writing for real. Him and Drake about to put the pen to pad. He gonna be sounding like Drake.
Like you got to figure something out. There's other ways to get money.
I remember waking up inside the cell. Mama wasn't with me. Everybody giving hell. Like, whoa, what is this, Thug? Your words actually
like
rhyme
right
and
now.
Sound like
when they probably said he was released, people was like, "Yeah, we about to get a lot of new music." We are literally a lot of new music, not music that you thought he recorded or be talking about.
Can he empty his vault? Because he said he got like over 1,000 songs recorded. So could he go through and be like, these ain't new. These are already recorded. I got the dates they were recorded. This is just a new album that I'm dropping, but I'm not performing none of it.
He could, but then the backs are different. If you got 1,000 songs put up, are they really quality or was you just in the studio tweaking?
That's what Future do.
Well, they said he don't do drugs, so that don't count. And that's biased because you don't like him. That's the same as me saying Drake just go in there and say whatever is popular.
Nobody could say that about Drake because Drake literally writes his own songs.
Drake go in there and say whatever is popular at the moment, so that's why he's timeless. But this ain't about Drake. This is about Young Thug in this sense. So we want to know, what do y'all think is next for Young Thug? Do y'all think that he has to change his narrative? Do you think his future is about to be different, or do you think that the court of law set him up for disaster? Y'all comment, like, subscribe to the video. Thanks for tapping into the live. We out.
Peace.